Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to UBU. Presenting the incomparable Lynnaire Johnston of Link-Ability, the queen of LinkedIn. Lynnaire Johnston of Link-Ability, the queen of LinkedIn. We can't wait to get into the show. Let's go. This is UBU, where the voices rise. Truth and connection, you can see it in our eyes. Every story stronger, every step we take. You be you forever. Let the future wake. You be you. Welcome, Lynnaire Johnston. Oh yeah. Welcome, singing now. You be you, shining in the light. You be you. It's your time tonight. It's your time. It's your time tonight. You be you is the rhythm. You be you is the sound. Voices lifting higher, spreading all around. From Link-Ability, wisdom lights the way. You be you, the anthem. We're singing today. You be you. Welcome, Lynnaire Johnston. Say her name. Welcome, say it proud. You be you, shining in the light. You be you. It's your time tonight. Shining bright. This is more than a show. This is UBU, where voices connect, where transformation begins. And today, it's Lynnaire Johnston. You be you. Welcome, Lynnaire Johnston. Oh yeah. Welcome, Lynnaire. Sing it proud. Link-Ability, shining bright. It's your time. You be you. Yes, the voices rise. You be you. Hear the anthem in our eyes. You be you. Lift your soul and feel the light. You be you. It's your time tonight. Yeah. You be you. You be you. You be you. Yeah. You be you. It's your time tonight.
Wow, I just love me.
I just love you too, Bill. I just love that song. I'm bopping away
I
in the background
do,
and singing my
I
heart out. It's
do.
great.
And I have to figure out how long I'm going to keep this going, because
Oh, forever,
it
forever.
kind of feels special, right?
It
So
does.
everybody
Yeah.
who comes on, there's something special for them.
Yeah.
Everyone, welcome to UBU Live. My name is William Rochelle, but you can call me Bill. Before we jump into all of what we have to talk about, which there is a lot, I want to do a special thanks to everyone that's been supporting me recently. And this is a unique sandwich that we're going to have. So everything that I do, believe it or not, there's intention behind it. And I told you guys, Kenneth Dunner and Mike LeBlanc and Peter and Jeremy, they are all a part of my network, and that network is so important to me. And I also have a Link-Ability network. And Guys, I'm going to say one of the things that I've learned as an old man is that it is okay to say I am not an expert in a very specific area. And understanding that, and for all of you hiring managers out there, understanding that a man knows where to go when he has questions. And I went to Link-Ability. And so if you notice anything about the episodes that are coming up today, yesterday, next Sunday, it's all about who you're going to call. And Lynnaire is not a Ghostbuster. She's my LinkedIn buster. And she will help me. So Lynnaire, thank you so much for joining today. This one will probably be harder for you. Well, it may be harder for me because when the focus is put on me, it is often uneasy. And I want to say that because we should admit that we are not always comfortable in our skin. So today I release and I hand over all of my anxiety, poor thing, to Lynnaire Johnston.
I love a challenge, Bill. And this is the 7th time you and I have been sharing a LinkedIn Live that you have hosted. And it's always a pleasure to be back in front of you or with you, alongside you even. So thank you. And to all the lovely people in the audience. I see a lot of names there familiar. So a special hi to Meryl Cass, who's always letting everybody know about our events. Really appreciate you. Meryl, and big hugs and kia ora from down under. So I want just to say on your point, Bill, that everybody feels the same around their LinkedIn profile. They find it really hard to write about themselves. It just seems to be a common thing, I believe. And a lot of people come to me and they say, well, Lynnaire, I need a profile makeover and I need your help, but I just don't know quite what to do because I can't write about myself very easily. And I just feel really uncomfortable around it. And I don't want to be seen as somebody who is skiting or showing off, or I think you call it drinking the Kool-Aid in the States. And so I don't know how to do this. I simply do not know how to come across professionally, but also showcasing my skills and abilities. And it is true that it is difficult. All of us find it a real struggle, Bill, to write about ourselves. And so I think that it's something that we have to do is acknowledge that and say to ourselves, right, it's difficult. I know it's difficult. Either I'm going to really give it a good go myself, or I'm going to join a group like Link-Ability where everybody is helping each other and there's lots of information that I can go to find out about what I need to do. Or we just hire somebody specifically, like you might hire me specifically, not you particularly, because you know me, I love you to bits, I'll do anything for you. So I just think that we need to be aware of that, and that underscores everything that we do on LinkedIn. And because the profile is so important, in that anybody who's looking to hire us or to do business with us is going to maybe Google us, maybe do a search in GPT or Perplexity, and they're going to find out about us in whatever way they can. And they're going to end up at our LinkedIn profile. Inevitably, that's where they're going to end up. And so we want to make it fantastic. We want to make it look like the person that we really are. Now, most of us are more than one person, right? I'm a gardener.
Yes.
I show up in my garden wearing these clothes, right? Don't want to get weeds and dirt all over my nice jacket. And I think that it's important to remember that we are professionals at work. We are family members and friends in our personal lives. We might be students in some area or another. We're community members. We are made up of all these different people, and we have to find a way somehow to get that across to people, but we still have to be authentic. Now, that's a big ask. You have to admit, right? How do you be authentic when all these different people all at once. But this is a professional platform, and this is something where we are showing up to do work of some kind or another. And so I think we need to put aside our gardening and our family obligations in that sense. Or in your case, you're a doggy dad, right? So put your dogs aside. Unfortunately, I'm a great fan of pooches. And just remember that we're at work. When we're on LinkedIn, we're at work, and we want to show up as well as we possibly can. So put that one ahead of some of your other personas, but know that you want those to inch into what you're doing. You want people to have a glimpse of who you are, of the other things that you love to do, your creativity, because clearly you're a real creative soul. Just listen to that music at the front, right? So let that show through what you are doing in different ways. And I'd like to talk about how we can do that in a couple of different ways today. But I would like to start by talking a bit about your own profile, if we might, because in the last 2 episodes of UBU Live, we have talked about someone else's profile, a person that you knew from a long time ago, and we did some work on his, Chris Robeson's. But now I think it's time that we should focus a bit on yours, have a look at yours, which is already great, and you already have an enormous network. It's amazing. And so that gives you opportunities, I think, that a lot of people may not understand the value of. So I'd like to talk about that, and I'd like to talk about your profile. So if you could just,
Yeah, I want to throw a couple of things in really quick. And
Sure.
that is, guys, and I'm speaking to David Darnell right now, and I'm also speaking to Mike LeBlanc. Sometimes, and you guys will hear this at the end of the show, it's called pause. And I learned this from Martin. So I told you guys this is going to be a Linkability week, and that's the network I leaned on last week, and they're all coming here this week to speak up. And one of the things Martin said was that people get intimidated during a conversation when there's silence, when there's pause. And Bill, meaning me, and he wasn't mean about it. He said, some people feel the need to fill in that gap. So they start to ramble endlessly. Now, I'm not saying he said I rambled endlessly. He said,
and I hope you're not saying I ramble endlessly.
But, you know, this, in order for us to grow and become forever learners, we need to accept that we need to receive something. Okay. Lynnaire has spent her career becoming better and better and better at what she does. And it's just not something that I've spent my life dedicated to. And she can see things that I can't. So while we're going to speak today, understand that I'm doing everything in my power not to scream, but I like that. I'm going to let her do what she does, as much as it's going to kill me. All right, go ahead. I'm going to mute myself, and now it's all you.
Okay. All right. The first thing is, please don't kill yourself, because your profile is already so much better than the majority of LinkedIn profiles that I see. So please take heart from that. All we're trying to do is to do it better for you and make it more obvious to the people who are looking for someone with your skills that you are the right person to hire. So that's where I want to take this. So please don't see this as a negative. Just see this as improvements, incremental improvements, right? Okay, because I think we need to learn a little bit every day and improve a little bit every day. Okay, so let's bring your profile on the screen and talk about your new new banner, because you've just changed your banner, which was a great deal better than the one you had, which is a major improvement. I was really pleased to wake up this morning, Bill, and to see that you had done this, because your last one had text that was so small it was impossible to read, and your profile photo obscured some of it. So the problem that a lot of people have, and I see this all the time, is that they create this gorgeous banner, and then when they put it up onto LinkedIn, their profile photo is over half of it. And it's over more of it if you look at it on the app. So if you go to your phone or to your mobile device where you might have the LinkedIn app, bring it up and you can see that the dimensions are slightly different, quite a lot, sort of thinner really, and it's smaller. The text is always smaller. So I think that from here, what I'm going to suggest is that you make the text bigger. And you've got everything, all the activity happening on the left-hand side of the page or the banner. And I like balance. Now, I'm no designer, Bill, so don't take this to heart. But I would really love to see that photo of you in your, looks like a tuxedo, with a microphone on the right-hand side of your banner, nice and big, taking up the whole depth of it, and making the words much easier to read. Now, orange on black is a designer's dream, but it's a reader's nightmare. So it might be that the text just needs to be even bigger, or to have white edges on it. I'd like to have a play with this, if that's all right with you, just to make sure that we do a really good job of this for you, and suggest some other options. Because the key here for everybody who's listening is that you have to position the elements where they are best visible, right? And people's eyes tend to go to the right of a banner, first of all, because you've got your photo on your left. That's what they expect, and they want to see something balancing it on the right. So that's really prime banner real estate. So my suggestion is to put something important over on the right, where you've got that mostly empty. And so I think it's all about balance, because don't forget, we're trying to make an impression. This is your window to the LinkedIn world, if you like. And when people come to your profile for the first time, this is the first thing they're going to see. So you want to make it really stand out. So the two things are to make sure you've got it balanced and use all the space available, but also to make the words really large. Now, you'll probably want to make them bigger on the banner you use on your desktop version than the one on mobile, because the mobile text is even smaller and is much harder to read. And about 65-70% of people are looking at LinkedIn on their phones. So
can I ask you a question at this stage? So I did this very quickly. Mm-hmm. You and I have different opinions on the pictures, right? So you like, or I'm not going to say you like it, but I like me in the tuxedo. You prefer the hoodie and the white glasses.
No. I'm with you on the tuxedo.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought it was because it was a side view. And then what is your
professional? Right? It's you at work. It's you being you, Bill. So it needs to be there front and center, right? And on your previous banner, previously to the previous one, that was all you had on there. And so I don't want to lose that. I just want to make that bigger and have it in the right place.
Perfect. What are your thoughts on my favorite, which is the one that I've made myself enhanced, so I look a lot better, the I am, which is an AI generated photo of me, but it's close, right? I mean, what are your thoughts? Is it terrible or is it okay?
No, I really like it. I just want to know at a glance what the relevance of it is. Now, you've explained it to me off live, right? So I already know what the relevance is of it to you, but you need to make it relevant to people looking at it. what are they going to take from it? What are they going to assume about you on the back of that? Remembering, of course, that we're multiple personas, but this is a business platform. How are they going to perceive that? Now, I don't have an answer to that one, Bill. That's a rhetorical question. But I do think that if we're going to be sharing different parts of ourselves, then it needs to be relevant and also explained somewhere else. So for me, for example, you know me, I'm a gardener, and if I was going to put something to do with gardening on my banner, then I'd want to make sure that I also had it in my copy somewhere. So in the about section, maybe, or under interest, or somewhere where it was able to be seen that that's what the connection was. I think that's the important thing, making it relevant and making it understandable for people.
So you know what the meaning behind it is, and there's two separate meanings.
Mm-hmm.
So which one would you put?
I would put the one that means the most to me, or in this case, the most to you. What do you feel the most strongly about? And you might want to explain what the meanings are, because you and I have had this conversation, but everyone else listening in hasn't.
So I am is a very, very godly, I'm going to say a biblical reference. God is the great I am. And for me, he resides in me. And whenever I have self-doubt, I remember that I am powerful. Yeah. I am here for a reason. I am confident. I am secure. I am worthy. All of these things that I am that I tend to forget. And I am is a reminder to self. And then on the flip side, if you guys know anything about the Black Eyed Peas, he was Will I Am, which spells William. So it's a kind of a play on both factors. And while we are here, I'm going to take 10 seconds to acknowledge Adam Wayne. And Adam, what I'm going to tell you is the absolute truth. I do not stay calm when the spotlight is suddenly turned to me. And that's the point of this entire conversation. I get filled with anxiety, and then I'm like, okay, this isn't working and this looks dumb. And I get more in my head when the spotlight is put on me. And I can put the spotlight on anyone else and make them feel comfortable. That's kind of what I consider to be my superpower. But I don't see that when I'm working on me, or I do see it, but I have to make an intentional effort to recognize it. So it's hard. It's hard. And that's and your question is the exact reason why we're here today. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, it's not easy, but practice, I think, really helps, Bill, and preparation. Having some idea about what's going to be the topic, how you're going to answer the questions, and knowing your material. I think those are the things that are really important. So if you know what you're going to be asked, then you can mull that over in your mind beforehand so that you're ready with an answer when the question comes and you're not flummoxed by it or put off or feel really uncomfortable. And it's all based on the knowledge that you have. Now, you're a very experienced person in customer service, had many years doing a lot of really interesting work. You have that body of knowledge behind you. So if you were to get in front of somebody asking you about customer service questions, then you would know the answers without having to do too much thinking about them. It's more how you would phrase them for the particular audience that you're in front of, say an interviewer. And I think that is the point, is just to be confident that you know your material. And if you've got a brief and you know what topics are going to be discussed, then you're not going to feel so out of your depth. But also practice, just practice, Bill. It's like anything. I had a real barrier trying to get myself on video not that long ago. I really just hated it. I used the technical issues as the excuse for not wanting to do it because I felt uncomfortable about it. Why would anybody want to listen to anything I had to say? Why would they want to watch me? All of those fears, lack of confidence, all of those that inner voice that tells you all those negative things. And do you know, the answer was simply doing it with just practice. I was terrible at the beginning. I may not be much better now, but at least I feel more comfortable around it and don't have so much fear, because I think that's part of the issue. You'll never ultimately or entirely feel comfortable. That you want that adrenaline rush, because I think it makes you do a better job. It makes you speak more coherently and maybe even in full sentences if you're lucky. So I really do think that it's just a matter of doing it week after week, fortnight after fortnight, and just having the courage, because a lot of people don't.
I agree. And I am going to, again, sit back and listen. Guys, this is not easy for me. So let's go. What's the first thing that you want to change?
All right. We've talked about the banner, so we're going to move on. How about that? I'm just going to whiz over to my screen here. Right. So let me tell you about something else that I think is really important on our LinkedIn profiles that most people are not making full use of. And it is this, the services section. Now, this is an area, doesn't apply to everybody. It's not something everybody can use. But if you are offering B2B services or are employed in a role where you're offering services of some kind, then this is a really powerful section of your profile to be using really, really well. And it's even better if you are a premium member, because you are able to use it in a different way, which I'll show you in a moment. Now, Bill is a premium member, and so he will be able to do the things that I'm going to suggest. But even if you're not a premium member, this is what you will see, or people who are visiting your profile will see when they go to the services section of your profile. Now, I'm just going to flick over to my profile, and I'm going to show you what people will see when they visit my profile. And this is it here. It has 4 videos, each of which explains a different part of the service that I offer. Underneath that, it has a short, you can't see it all here, it sits behind the See More button, a short about section. Just like Bill, I've got my services that I offer here, but here's the thing I really want to show you is the reviews. Now, if you're familiar with LinkedIn, you'll know that recommendations sit at the bottom of our profile, or fairly close to. But this is a section that sits quite high up the services section. So it's right between the About section, which everyone who's serious about getting to know you will look at, and the Featured section with all these great big thumbnails. And so it really has high visibility. Now, when you go into the Services section, which is the Show All Services, it's not particularly great looking, I would agree. But what it does do is it gives you an opportunity to have this mini About section, your services there, and add up to 8 pieces of media. Now, I've chosen to use videos, and there they are all sitting there. But here's the thing, at the bottom are your reviews. These differ from recommendations. The way they differ is, first of all, where they are, hidden in the services section. And the second is that they are 5-star reviews. So the same kind of review process that you would get on Google or on Facebook, etc. And so what it allows people who know about you to do is to give you 5 stars, you want to make sure they do, for various different areas of your work. And then they all sit underneath here and people can go and read them. You can see all of them sitting in here with the person's name, with their photo, with their headline. Now, I think that this is a really useful way to be able to get third-party endorsements for the work that you do. Now, most people don't even know that these sit here. And until you go into somebody's services section, you may not actually see them. But they do show up in here. The most recent shows up here. Now, if I'm going to show you quickly how the recommendations work, because this is another trick you may not know. Oh, let me just go back to this. You see, I'm pausing, Bill. I'm learning too.
Yes. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Martin. I'm always learning something from Martin Stark. He's amazing.
He's so calm.
I know, but he's so eloquent. Oh,
yes.
Just beautiful, speaker.
It's really perfect. It's a perfect balance for me because I'm so like, and he's so like, he's like, Bill,
just chill,
calm down. You're good. Okay.
If you're a premium member, you can add different sections of your profile to your featured section. And one of those things, and this is the one that I think is the best, is recommendations. So you will know that down in your recommendations area, and I'll just quickly whiz down to mine, in your recommendations area, only the 2 most recent display, and everything else sits behind this number down the bottom here. And the problem with that is that you might have a really good one that people can't see unless they click that button. But people are inordinately lazy and they won't necessarily bother. So if you've got a really good one, say this one here from Stu Lee's, if you want to make sure that people do see that, then the aim of the exercise is to go back up to your featured section and to add it in there. And I'll just show you how to do that. Now, this is a premium feature only. So if you don't have premium, you can't do this. But if you go into this plus button here, and it will say at the bottom, add content from your profile, and then you can choose what you want to add. So you can see there's a whole list of different things that you might want to add in there. You might want to put in licenses and certifications if you've done some LinkedIn learning courses, of course. And that's always a good idea. Show that you're a lifelong learner. So you could put those in there. A recommendation. Now, the difference between this and the actual sections in your profile is that these pick up the individual elements. So it picks up an individual recommendation, not all of them, which is what you really want. You just want one to be focused there. And as you can see, this is one that I got just this week. Now, I often will put in a new recommendation, if I really like it, into my featured section for a week or two, and then take it down again, simply because I like to have things moving around. But I think that adding our recommendations is a very good idea to other things, and not just what we are doing on our profiles. So, for example, what I've done is I have put a recommendation on my website under my services section where somebody gave me, right, I'll put it right at the bottom so it's easy to find. Somebody gave me, where am I? Here, this is a video recommendation about this part of my service. So I've taken it out of LinkedIn and I put it into here. And this recommendation that I just showed you in my services section, I put that into an image here, and I put that into my services section on my page. Now, why have I done this? because it can be searched by Google. It's findable and visible by Google and by AI. And that's where I think we need to be thinking about what we're doing with LinkedIn, because it's pretty difficult these days. LinkedIn's pretty much a tight ecosphere, if that's the right word, where a lot of what you have on LinkedIn is not visible outside. So if you want to be found by search engines or AI, then we need to actually move that stuff out of LinkedIn and put it elsewhere. But you can also put it into, I think that I didn't show you that. I'm sorry. This is the recommendation that I've just showed you the image of. Right, I think that's it. I think you can see that. All right, but I want to come out of that now and just show you one other thing while I'm talking about this. And that is, let me share this one with you. This is a recommendation that I have put at the bottom of an article. I'll just show you the top of it so you can see that that's what it is, because LinkedIn newsletters and articles are indexed by Google, unlike posts, and they are visible by AI, unlike posts. So when you put in a recommendation from somebody else into your articles and your newsletters, that is going to be findable by search engines and AI. And I think that that is something that is really crucial for us to be thinking about. So those were the things that I really wanted to share there, Bill, were about the recommendations and reviews, and also about how to make sure that you get those things seen on your profile, on LinkedIn, and off LinkedIn.
I think that that's fantastic. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to do what I do, which is Soul Man, Aaron. I gave Lynnaire Johnston a recommendation on Substack a few weeks ago. Yet, Lynnaire Johnston has not given me a review, but she's given Sigrid one. See, I'm not in my feelings, people. I just want you guys to know this. I'm not in my feelings, but I saw Sigrid, Stu, Roy. I think I saw some other people. But I literally gave her a beautiful, glowing recommendation. But my face is.
Bill, I've got to stop you there. I've got to run. I've got to make a recommendation. I've got to go and do something. Now, you raise a really good point. And first of all, apologies. You are quite right. I have not given you a recommendation on your LinkedIn profile. And I should have. I'm going to also suggest, though, that I do you a review, because I don't think you've got any reviews on your LinkedIn.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right. Well, there you go. You see, you've learned something today. Now, the key to that, though, is that there's a difference between reviews and recommendations. So with recommendations, anybody can write a recommendation for anybody and it gets sent to them, and then they can choose whether they want to put it on their profile or not. But with a review, the person who wants the review has to ask for it, and you have to do it from within LinkedIn. So because you want only 5-star reviews, it's a very good policy to reach out to the person you want to ask and say, would you write me a 5-star review on LinkedIn, and then give them the link, because you don't want anybody giving you 4.9 or 4.8 or anything else. So the people you ask, Bill, have got to be real trustworthy on this. And you then send them the link, which then they will write the review. But here's the other point on this one. Once they do that, it goes up automatically, and you cannot remove it from your profile. You can take down any recommendations that you want that are no longer relevant, but you cannot do that with a review. So you need to make sure the person writing it is going to do a good job for you.
Okay.
All right. So those are the critical differences between recommendations and reviews.
So once a review's done, it's permanent.
Yes, it is permanent. Yes, with the recommendation, you can take it down, but you can use the text and the images from the reviews and the recommendations elsewhere, like I just showed you, on your website, in other areas of your LinkedIn profile. So say, for example, I had a review for a service that I really wanted people to know about. Then I could put that in the media section of the role in my experience area. So say coaching, for example. I do a lot of coaching, one-to-one coaching with people, which I really enjoy doing. And so when somebody gives me a review about that, then I can take the text, I can turn it into an image. If it's a video review, then I can just put the video in there, and it sits in the coaching section in my experience area for people to go and have a look at. So then it's not me saying how fantastic or otherwise I am, but somebody else. And that, I think, comes back to the fear that you were talking about earlier, Bill, about us finding it very hard to say nice things about ourselves. And if we ask other people to do that, or other people offer to do that, or other people are reminded that they have not done it when they should, then I think that it's a lot easier for us, because it's not us saying it, it's somebody else giving us that recommendation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
That's what I want to say about that. Okay. Now, I want to take the pressure off your profile now, if that's all right with you.
Yes, ma'am. Want to remove it, or?
No, we'll leave it there, but I would like to talk about how you can use LinkedIn as a different way to find work, whether you are looking for a job, whether you are looking to bring in new business. However, whatever it is your goal is on LinkedIn, then I want to talk about some things that people don't often do that I think are missed. And I want to just show you, and I'll go back to showing you what's on a screen, but I'll show you mine. And this time I promise I'll remember to change the tab. So my apologies if I got there before. So this is my LinkedIn profile, and this is my analytics area. Now, one of the ways that I think that we
So I'm still seeing mine. Am I the only one?
Why am I not? Hang on a minute. Let me just see if I'm fine. You should be. View tab. Stop sharing. All right. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll stop sharing that, and I'll come back to StreamYard and try it again. So I'll just continue talking while I'm trying to get it back on the screen, Bill.
Okay.
So what I am thinking here is that the way that we go about job search is, in fact, applying for jobs and applying for work. When we know about a job that's available, or work that we know that's available because it's shown up somewhere, then we tend to respond to that. But what I'm wanting to suggest here today is a process whereby we are being proactive. And by that, I mean that we are reaching out to people who we may not think have a job available. We may not be able to work with them yet, but we're looking further down the track. In other words, we're sowing the seeds. It's my gardening analogy for you today. We're sowing the seeds that we hope will germinate, and then we can nurture them, and it'll grow into a plant, which will turn into work. That didn't quite work at the end, but you know what I mean. So can you see my profile now? Okay. So in profile views, and which I'd like to say, you shared with me your number of profile views yesterday, which was considerably higher than mine. This is a very good way of
It's 300 off. It's not that much higher.
Well, it's still quite a number. I'm very impressed that you're having that many profile views, Bill, because it's an opportunity for you. And here's how. So what this will do is give you, because you're a premium member, it will give you interesting viewers, and you can look at this by a number of different categories. Can someone help you find a job, work at a company that you are interested in working at? Someone might be a senior leader in your industry, so therefore they may be looking for someone now or in the future. And finally, senior leaders with your job function, which is probably just a bit less useful for what we're looking for here. But you can click any of these, show results, and it's going to put into, let me just tell you here, try this one first, can help you get a job. So this is anyone who's viewed my profile over the last 90 days who could help me get a job. Let's have a look and see whether there's anybody here that I can look at. Now, these are people, excuse me, who have looked at my profile. So these are people that I might then be able to reach out and to connect with. Now, this person here is only a 3rd degree connection, but she has followed me. How do I know? Because I can see a follow back button. So that means that I don't necessarily need to follow her or to connect with her unless I really want to. She's already seeing all my content. This person here did in fact reach out to connect with me this morning, and you can see that I have accepted that. Now, what that means, excuse me, talking too much, is that we could start a conversation. Now, she might not have a job for me today, but she might have a job for me in the future, or work, or be able to offer me an opportunity of some kind, like being on a show like this, being on a podcast. You don't really know what opportunities are going to come your way. So my suggestion with this is that you have a look at the people who are already looking at you and follow up, because these are the people who are in fact going to be warm. They're what we would call warm leads, if you like. They're people who have shown an interest in you.
But I got from you and from Roy, I think, that I need to stop connecting with people.
Start or stop?
Stop. So whenever I used to look at people that looked at me, I would just automatically send them a connection request.
Yeah. 2 things about that. One, if you're going to connect with people, send them a personalized invite. Hey, William, I'm going to call you Bill, to show that I know about that. Thanks for looking at my profile. Really nice to see you. I've had a look at yours. We've got some synergies. Love to connect. That's going to get you a foot in the door. If you just send me a connection invite, but I've never heard of you, don't know what you do, know nothing about you, I am going to be, first of all, less inclined to say yes. And secondly, I will, though, have to work harder to find out whether I want to connect with you. Now, that might not be a bad thing, because that means I'm going to have to look at your profile, and that's a good thing. So I'm on the fence a bit around this. But my point with this one, though, is that you want to be working the network you have. You have more than 30,000 followers. At least one person in that number, Bill, has a job vacancy. There will be lots of people looking for someone with your amazing skills. And so it's a matter of finding them. It's a matter of being memorable, of being top of mind. And you are already doing that through these live events. Look at how many people we've got on the live here today. And yes, Mike's exactly right. Quality, not quantity. Some of those 30,000 people are not going to be worth your time or effort, but a lot of them are going to be worth building a relationship with. And by that, I mean just doing even the basics, reaching out to say, hi, how are they going in the current business environment? You know, what's been a win for you this year? What are you looking forward to about 2026? You know, just something that you can get your teeth into to start a conversation. Now, not everybody, Bill, is going to want to have a conversation with you. Not even everybody wants to have a conversation with me. Go figure. But that's okay.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
You want the people who do want to have a conversation with you. Those are the ones that really you're going to be able to have an impact with. You're going to be able to add value to. You might want to have them on your show. Imagine if somebody that you thought was a great employer, well, and you started a conversation with, you said to them, hey, I'd really like to have you on my UBU Live. Imagine how they would feel. They'd feel so special. Particularly if you do a song about them, Bill, that just takes
They'll come back. Let's take a pause, which I am getting from my friend Martin Stark, and let's just recognize, everyone's saying that they love the vibe here. Keep the questions coming. Thank you very much, Dixon Rude. I appreciate Mike LeBlanc constantly checking up on me to make sure that I'm alive. Thank you, Mike. H. Marcello, Anthony. I appreciate you showing up every time you show out. Kenneth Dunner, what can we say? You're the GOAT. Greatest of all time. Savor the flavor. Jack Amador over at YouTube, you had a question that I want to make sure that we bring in front of Ms. Johnston. And let me find it real quick because it was a great question. And I want to make sure she gets a chance to answer it. And where is it, my friend? Oh, here it is. Was that the one I wanted to share? Oh, God, he has so many. So what's the best way to ask for help without feeling weak? I'll answer that.
You could answer that.
I'll answer that one. You need to feel confident in what you know and understand that you don't have to have all the answers. You just need to know where to get them from. And that is the position of a great leader. So when this conversation started that we're having right now, it came from a place of what you might consider to be weakness. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is crazy. I bum all my interviews and I'm helping everyone else. Someone needs to help me. And so I went to the experts. And what ended up happening in that moment, sir, is that everybody's hands went up. It was the most oddest thing because I felt like the dumbest man on the planet. And when I expressed how dumb I was feeling, everyone else was like, you're not alone. And don't give yourself that much credit. and I can help you. That's what I'm here for. So I was on the phone with Gina, Martin, Lynnaire within moments. I think I came back and the show had ended because I had another meeting to go to. And she was like, let's get on a show on Tuesday. This was what, Friday or something, Thursday? Yeah. So this whole thing was created out of a moment of, and let's not call it weakness, a moment of vulnerability, a moment where I recognized that I was a fish out of water in the reality that I was living called my life. And once we recognize that, then we can start setting up the portions that need to be fixed. Then we can start setting up the portions. So there is no weakness. There is no it's not about weakness or strength. It's about knowing you. And if you, my friend, need help, if you feel like you're struggling with a certain aspect, ask the people closest to you or the ones that are best equipped to answer the question. And I will tell you that once you let down your guard and share with people what you're truly feeling, they will respect you more. That's my answer.
I come from a journalism background, Jack. I'm used to asking silly questions because I, as a journalist, I'm not expected to know everything. And I think we ought to remember that we can't know everything about everything. So if you're asking a question that you might think makes you look weak, in actual fact, you're asking a question that everybody else wants to know too, but don't have the courage to ask. And I think that it comes down to that, just having the courage to ask. And as Bill says, find the right people to ask the questions of. When you reach out to others and ask for help, help will come. And it's just a matter of making sure that you have the right people around you. I'm reading a novel at the moment that's based on the premise that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I'm going to...
No, don't tell me that.
Right. Okay. So who are the, say even on LinkedIn, who are the 5 people that on LinkedIn you spend the most time with? Because those are the people who are going to make the most difference to you. And they will be the ones who help you rise up. And I think that's really important to remember. And it comes back to building those relationships that I mentioned before about knowing the right people, asking the right questions, and building those relationships over a period of time. It's all about trust. And it's about showing up and being authentic. And can nerves actually work for you? Yes, absolutely. I like the adrenaline buzz. And I like being on Bill's podcast because he has this really cool music right at the beginning. If it wasn't 3 minutes long, Bill, I'd ask you to put it on again now. But it's really cool music. And what happens is it really just gives you a lift. It brings joy. It gives you energy. And then that really flows through to the show. And I'm sure that you've all seen shows where people are really have got no energy and their voices are really low and monotonous, and it doesn't give you much happiness. It doesn't make you want to listen to more. So I think that nerves can be a good thing, but I don't call them nerves. I call it adrenaline, and we should all have it.
Yeah, I find that it gets me really kind of jacked for the show.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's my answer to that particular question. What else have we got? Who else is asking questions here that we might want to answer?
We have a ton. Adam has a ton for you. I just can't remember which one it was that I really, really loved. I don't think it was any of the ones that I brought up, but your answers were spot on. There's Meryl.
Hey, Meryl.
I'm just saying hi. Yeah, I'm going to continue to look for Adam's other question. But let's just go ahead and move forward.
Okay, I've got something else that I do want to mention today because I think that it's important for people to know. LinkedIn is changing its terms and conditions at the beginning of November. And one of the things that has come out of discussion about the changes that they are making is the realization that LinkedIn is using our content to train its generative AI. When the T's and C's changed at this time last year, this became an issue too. And a lot of people found out about that, including me, for the very first time. They'd been unaware of it. And it is in a setting, in your settings and privacy area, and you can turn it off. But LinkedIn had it by default set to on. So if you didn't know about this, then your content on LinkedIn was being used by LinkedIn to train its AI. Now, most of us are not terribly keen on that. This issue has raised its head again now because a lot of people missed it the first time round. Now it's back again. So if you go into your settings and privacy and into the data privacy area, you will see a toggle button that allows you to turn it off. So LinkedIn does not have permission to share your content with its generative AI. Now, I'm not 100% certain about this, but to me, what I have read is that the T's and C changes this time around also mean that LinkedIn and Microsoft are sharing more of our content, in fact, all of our data, with Microsoft's affiliates. So I don't think there's anything much we can do to stop that one. I don't think that's one of those things you can toggle off, but that is the other part of this particular change to T's and C's this year. So if you weren't aware of that, you are now.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh,
And
I've got a real good answer to Jack on this one.
go ahead.
Have someone else do it for you. If Bill wants to feel good, then I will write him a recommendation that tells him how wonderful he is. And that takes us back to what we were talking about earlier on. Those recommendations and reviews are hugely important. And for a number of reasons, I think that we should all be reaching out to those who recommend us, or to those who want to recommend us, who we can recommend, and to write those recommendations. I am still embarrassed that Bill had to bring this up, that I had not, in fact, done this. But you raise a really interesting point, because when people do recommend you, it's often a reciprocity situation. So you've recommended me. I'm in a position to recommend you because we've been doing all these shows together. So I can talk about you, how I know where I know you from, and the work that we have done together. And so that would give the recommendations in your LinkedIn profile a different kind of a flavor, because your other recommendations might all be about the work you've done before. So to have something that's about a different aspect of what you're doing, I think is really kind of useful. So that's my answer, Jack, is to reach out to other people and get those recommendation numbers up on your profile.
Jack, thank you so much for being so pivotal in this conversation and asking some really great questions. Thank you, Kenneth, for telling me that I was beautifully well articulated and eloquently stated, heartfelt replies. That means the world coming from you, my friend. Back to you, Lynnaire.
I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at that comment and going, "Wow, I don't know how Kenneth does this all the time, but he always says the most amazing things on our shows, doesn't he? Which is just fabulous. So, so thank you so very much. All right. So we have been talking an hour. Bill, this is your show, not mine. Why am I doing any kind of wrap up? Is there anything else? Is there anything else that anybody wants to ask while we are here today? The reason I think that wrapping it up after an hour is because most people have things to do. They have busy lives, and an hour is about the most that you can expect people to hang around and watch and listen. So I always try to keep my events to an hour unless there's anything else. So I'm happy to turn it over to people for questions. So yeah.
How are you guys feeling out there? I know we're all busy. This is my profile, so there's so many things that I want to see changed and shifted. Do you guys have any questions for Lynnaire right now before we break out? Does anyone want to come up and ask her a very specific question? Continue that.
You know, the difficulty with doing this, Bill, is that LinkedIn itself runs about a minute behind what you and I are actually saying. So we're in the future.
Okay.
Everybody else who's on LinkedIn, and which is a really funny thing, isn't it? But so it'll take a moment or two for people to respond to that question because they haven't even seen it yet. And here we are having a chat. So why don't I just take a moment to just talk a bit about the kind of things that I do that might help other people, given that that's what this is all about, is learning about LinkedIn. So through my Linkability members community, which Bill is, I hope, a proud member of, We help people to leverage LinkedIn to achieve their professional goals. So what I mean by that is that we have a website that is chock full of information, answers to questions about LinkedIn. We have regular roundtable meetings, and this is where Bill was asking for help last time round, where we talk about LinkedIn, troubles we're having, ideas that we're wanting to share. We also have a private group on LinkedIn where members can post their content, and we all help each other to we're engaged on each other's posts where that's relevant. And we have a chat group associated with that where everybody talks. It's really about, isn't it, Bill? It's a bit like a group of family and friends having a chat. Excuse me. And I really enjoy that. I just like the camaraderie that there is. And you've already alluded to this, that people step up. When someone has an issue, other people step up and they offer to help from their area of expertise. So we have members who are experts in their own field. Martin Stark, who you've already mentioned, the Courage Champion. He's a keynote speaker and he's an author. We have more than one marketing person. We have business coaches. We have networking experts. And we've even got a jet lag expert. I mean, we talk about diverse. It's really fascinating. And people who know about AI, because I'm interested in AI and how that's changing the work that we do today. So you're very welcome to pop over to linkability.biz. You can see the linkability at the bottom of the screen there. Just put a .biz on the end of it, and that'll take you to our website. While I am looking at this question, what gave you the insight to know that you needed to reach out and speak to others? I'm not quite sure whether that's directed at you or me, Bill. Okay.
I think it's to me. And Lizzie, what I will tell you is that I am very self-aware, regardless of how I come across. And I've done a couple of interview spots where I just didn't feel as if I was giving it my all. I didn't feel natural. I felt like I was being an inauthentic version of myself. So I really wanted the host to explain to me what he was seeing. And the reason why that was so important to me, and everything kind of connects, is because I am on a job search hunt. And I've had a couple of interviews, but I'm not the best interviewer. And I recognize that. And this is a group of contemporaries. These are all leaders in their own right. So I'm not speaking to a room of novice. I'm speaking to experts, and they all just wanted to help. And what made me reach out is it was the day after a god awful interview, and the person that conducted the interview is part of the group. And so I was like, hey, this happened and let's just talk about it. And we did.
And I think it's important to realize that everybody has times when things don't go as well as they would like, but they are probably much harder on themselves than anybody else is going to be. Yep. We're all very self-critical, aren't we? That voice in our head that tells us that we weren't any good at what we were doing or are doing. And I just think that we need to, like I said very early on, it's practice, Bill, that really makes a difference. And when it comes to job interviews, this wasn't the situation you were in that you're talking about, but job interviews, LinkedIn has in their job section an area where you can do some interview practice, and that might be useful for people to have a look at. But also, why not use AI? Because we can talk to AI, we can do it verbally, like on our phone. And if you were to say to AI, this is a job I want, you are the interviewer, I want you to ask me questions. I'm going to respond verbally, and then I want you to critique me and see whether that helps. Because there are different ways of being able to be prepared for interviews. And there's a certain number of questions that are always going to be the same. And it's having those answers that are fluent, but also make you stand out. I think memorability, Bill, is underrated. We all want to be remembered for the good things that we do. So if at the end of a day of interviews, somebody remembers you positively, then that's a really good thing. So if you say, you give a really good answer to an interview question, but you say but something a bit quirky, then they're going to remember that, and they're going to remember you as the potential person that they go, do you know, that guy might be really interesting to have on our team because he's got an edge to him. There's something about him that I think might bring some extra value that we mightn't have in our team. So never underestimate being different.
That's actually a tactic in a lot of people's hiring strategy. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they actually misspell a word or they leave a comma out. And for some reason, they say people get so stuck on that mistake that they remember the resume. So anyway,
you want to be remembered for the right things, and mistakes on your resume is not one of
it's not the right thing to remember by. See, guys, do not take advice from me.
Oh, but don't forget, I come from a wordsmith background, so I'm I'm very particular.
Let's talk about linkability for a second, and I hope you guys are getting something out of this conversation. I know I have, and you are going to work on my banner, right?
I am going to work on your banner.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, that's a win.
You only had me on the show, didn't you? So you could get me to do that. I know you.
Actually, you asked about the show.
I did.
And you're always welcome. So I hope everyone got something out of this. What linkability?
Yeah.
How do you become a part of it? I received an invitation. So is it invite only?
I saw something in you, Bill, that I thought would. That's a bit about being memorable, right? You and I hadn't known each other very long when I reached out to you to ask if you would like to join us. And this is not usual for me. Usually people ask to join us. I don't actually reach out to them. But there was something about you that really stood out. And I would find it very hard to quantify exactly what that was. But it was really what I was just talking about a moment ago, that you bring something different to the group, to the community, that I could see adding value. And have you done that? More than, by a long, long way. Now, some people come and join the community and just do the learning part of it, and they don't get actively involved, and that's okay. But a lot of other people join it simply so that they can feel part of a community while they're learning at the same time and get different kinds of advice, because there are a lot of opportunities within the group itself. You've given opportunities. Martin, you've been on Martin's show. I know you and Scott have done something together. And there are other people who are being offered opportunities and offering you opportunities. And that is what it's all about. It's that extension of LinkedIn where you do meet people and develop relationships, and then you could take it off LinkedIn and put it into its own little box, if you like, where you've got other things going on. Now, I gave you an overview of what it was about with all the information and the roundtables in the group, but we've got other things that go on within that. A little later today, for example, we've got a subgroup of the main group that's going to be looking at AI visibility. And so we're doing other things. There's an accountability group that's part of it as well. So we've got other things happening in there too. And so it is something that I think that a lot of people will feel they'll get value from, not only from what they learn, but also from the kind of things that you've got value from, Bill, being able to ask the questions. Feeling safe within a group of people to ask questions that you might feel a bit foolish about asking, which you weren't, by the way. But I just think that it's that people really enjoy the most. They come for one thing, but they actually stay for that, for the relationship building. And I love that because I'm all about relationships. What was your name again?
What was my name?
I'm just kidding. I'm all about relationships. What's your name? I've only been on 7 times, Bill.
The other part is how willing and you guys, when you're in the right group, it's just like on Jackie Hallsberg's show yesterday. She was talking about therapy, and you have to find the right therapist. It has to be a good fit. It's the same thing with your network. And if you are part of a good network, it will uplift you and get you to another place. And I say this all the time. I have my Link-Ability network, and I have my Kenneth Dunner network, and Mike LeBlanc and Peter and Jeremy. You know, it's 2 totally different things. And I get something different from each, right? And just be mindful. Lizzie, be mindful of your circle and who's in it. And the people that are in your circle, they should be there to uplift you, not to tear you down, not to compete with you, not to tell you a better way of doing what you already know about. It's to uplift you. And so if they can give you a different perspective, then you take it. If they can give you an encouraging word, then you accept it. And you be mindful of who's in that circle. Some circles don't serve you. Others do. And with Link-Ability, I can tell you 100% that it is a service-based community of talented leaders. And you will not walk away feeling like you were the smartest person in the room. And if you are in a situation, everybody, where you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You're in the wrong room. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope some of this made sense. A lot of it was for my own personal growth, but through transparency and authenticity, my growth is your growth, and hopefully you will learn something from what I'm experiencing. That's the whole point of UBU Live, and I believe Link-Ability, and that's where the intersection of authenticity and networking come to breathe. That's it for me.
Thank you for having me, Bill. I really enjoyed today's show. It's been great. It's more like a conversation, isn't it? And I think that's like the best shows.
And that's what everyone else was saying too. Guys, I would love to have you on. If you want to be a part of UBU Live as a guest, just type UBU Live in the subject line and email me. I'm about to take it out. We're going to go now. Any final thoughts, Lynnaire? And are you going to stay for a minute, or are you going to leave?
I am going to stay for a minute. Absolutely. So my final thought today, Bill, is that for all of us to be successful in life, we need to be surrounded by people who uplift us. And you uplift me. I'd like to hope that I uplift you. And the people who have been here today, a lot of names I recognize. Thank you for all your support always. And for the people who are new to me, I'll be reaching out to connect, because it's all about building those relationships, whether that's on LinkedIn, off LinkedIn, wherever it is. We are the product or the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So let's spend the most time with the right people. Thanks, Bill.
Absolutely. Mike, Kenneth, let's meet up and go brunch later. Lynnaire, we're going to hear some out music that was influenced by Martin Stark.
Oh, great.
It's called Pause. See you guys later. And if you want to take a break real quick, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Pause. Listen. Speak. Every word got weight when you feel that beat. Come on. Pause. Listen. Speak. Timing is the weapon and the truth runs deep. Everybody talking but they're not saying much. I don't need the noise, I'm tuned to the touch. When the silence hits, that's when the fire starts. it in your body, that defiance. Fire. Words ignite the air when you time it. Time it. Hold it, drop it, watch them climb it. Power in the pause. Hold it, wait, rewind. Power when you listen, clear your state of mind. Power when you speak, say it bold, define. Every pause, every word is the rhythm of time. Listen, speak.
Every word got weight when you feel that beat. Yeah.
Listen, speak.